Streetcar racing, eh? Ha! I can drive a car. I must be able to do this. Right, click to start. So, spacebar for speed. And we're driving around the corners. Excellent. Go on. No, slow down. Quick. Lap one. No. Right. And this is why I build games, but I do not play games. 2 laps. And that's it. I'm going home. Now, and welcome to this tutorial on making a car driving game. Hopefully my making skills will be better than my driving skills. Right, let's get into this. So by the end of this tutorial you will know how the decision blocks like if work, how to use the touching colour sensing blocks, how variables can be used to control speed, finally how and when to use comments. So let's see from last lesson. An event is a trigger, something that makes something begin. A variable is a place to store a value that can change, for example speed can change. What is a loop in the code? It's code that repeats. Give an example of a decision block. You can have if then else and if. Okay, so that's what we should remember from last lesson. Yeah, right, I'll show you how to draw the track first. You're going to draw the track using one colour. I've chosen grey in this instance. The grass should be a different colour. Sounds obvious, but you know, you can use shapes instead of a paintbrush. Or you can use shapes or a paintbrush. Come on, get with the plan. So if you're good at drawing and you've got a, I don't know, an iPad or some sort of tablet, I guess, you could use a paintbrush. But if you're not like me, you can just use shapes and they will look just as good. Right, so in Scratch, I'm going to create a Scratch game. And we're going to draw the background, so that's in stage and then backdrop. And I'm going to draw some grass first. So green, that was about right. Square, and draw just over the entire screen. Oops. Let's try again. Okay. So that white line on the inside is the extent of the stage. So I've drawn the grass, and then I'm going to just draw a couple of circles for the track. Choose some sort of colour, purple. Yeah, why not? And draw a circle-ish. So that'll be the outside of my track. I'm going to knock up the size of the lines to 20. That looks good. Well, it doesn't look good, but you know. And then a circle for the inside. That will do. And give it that green colour from the grass. So sampler, click on the green. Cool, so that's done. Back to the code. And back to the presentation. We're going to download the car. Seems really obvious, but there's just a couple of tips to speed things up a little bit. So we're going to look for car plan view, which is the looking down on the top business, and then PNG to try and get a transparent background, which saves a bit of time, or a white background that we can remove in Pixlr. So back to Scratch. So I've done a search already. I've searched for car plan view and then PNG. It's brought back all of these cars. There's all sorts of colours and stuff. But I'm looking for one that points to the right, just because Scratch expects that. And you can see with these this checkered look, in theory that's transparent. So I'm going to download this, save image as, save it as car, save, yes, replace it all. Let's go. So back into Scratch, and I'm going to import the car, hover over that, go for upload, there's the car, double click and it's really large, so I'm going to, in the size, going to change that to 30, still quite large. Let's go a bit smaller, 15. Yeah, that's small enough that I can drive around the track without hitting the black lines and things like that. Good, good, good. Back into the presentation, so pointing to the right is ideal, and we are saving the image. Nice one. Anyway, steering, we're going to use the left and right arrow keys, and we're going to use these rotate blocks. So you can see that's pointing to the left, and therefore that is the left turn, and that's pointing to the right, therefore that's the right turn. Let's put that in the code. So I'm going to grab one of those and one of those, and I'm looking for when key is pressed. So when left arrow key is pressed, left arrow, so that's pointing to the left. So I'll grab that, put that on there, and when right arrow is pressed, stick that on there. Give it a quick test, left arrow, right arrow, yep, or wee. This keeps the students amused for hours. Anyway, more. Come on, back to it. So as far as controlling speed goes, we're going to use the move block to move forwards. So there's the move block. We're going to use a variable called speed to store the number of steps it moves forward each time. 3 doesn't sound like much, but 3 is quite a fast speed, so I'm going to use that. The speed is controlled using colour sensors, so as the car goes over different colours the speed changes. So for example, if I'm touching colour grey, then set the speed to 3 because I'm on the track. I've also used this go to XY up there to reset the car position, so whenever the start button's pressed it goes back to this set position on the screen. Reason is I kept driving the car off and it would go off the screen and I couldn't work out how to get it back, and that took ages and ages to get it back. So anyway, that block would bring it straight back to the central position ish. Okay, so I'm going to stick that on that side, and I want to set up the speed to begin with. So I'm going to go for when the start button is pressed, I need that go to XY to bring it back into position. The reason I moved this over here just now is this go to XY will pick up the position of the car, so those are the coordinates of the car just there. So go to XY, stick that on there, and then in here I'm going to forever all the way through the game if this button is pressed. So in sensing, if a key is pressed, so I'm going to go space for the throttle, and then I'm going to do move. Let's just start with just a basic move. So 10 steps is far too fast, but this is what it looks like. So I press space. Oh yeah, haven't pressed the green flag. Onto the green flag, space, and it zooms straight off the screen and seemingly vanishes. So when I press start flag, it jumps back to the same place again. Good. I'm going to just reduce this. I don't need to reduce it. I'm going to stick a variable in there in a minute. Right. Sensing. Let's just press stop. Get that glow off of here. As far as sensing goes, I'm going to put another start button down, and another forever. So in control, another forever. And then if I'm touching a particular colour, so I need an if. Oops, let's try again. So if touching colour, so in sensing, we're going touching colour, like so. Let's go for the purple. So sample, and then the purple. Good. And then we're going to set a variable. Well, we're going to make a variable first, but so make a variable called speed. Speed. Good. So I'm going to set my variable, and I keep forgetting to do this, but you need to change that to the variable you've created. Good grief. Right, speed. Okay, so let's set that to 3. Okay. So just testing it, turn it around, press space, which doesn't work until the start button's pressed. Far too fast. Zoom, 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 back onto the purple. Why is speed so darned quick? Oh, Notice I haven't put the variable in there. There we go. This is why we test things as we're going, so we can just deal with one error at a time. So there is speed. Okay, yeah, that's better. Nice old man pace. I can keep up with that. No, I can't. Right, so that's for the tarmac. I'm going to duplicate that. And let's have touching colour of, let's have the black. Sample and black. So that can be 2. Good. Scroll down a little bit. And then duplicate again. And I'm going to sample this colour. Sample. Let's go for the green. Where is it gone? So set the speed to, let's change it to 1. Okay. Actually, scratch. You need to go away. There it is. Alright, so driving. Just press the start button again just in case. So rotate round. So that's quite a good pace, and then touch the black and it really slows down. And then on the grass it's crawling along. So back. Yeah, testing's difficult when you're rubbish at games. Come on, come on. And we're back in the room. So as long as I stay not touching the black at all, then it will go at a blistering pace of 3 moves a second. Great. Right, so that's the basic game in action. Let's go back to the presentation. As far as comments goes, it's one of those things that you think, oh, what's the point? But actually they're really useful. Because quite often you'll build these games and you won't touch them again for about a year. Then teacher comes across the scratch part of the curriculum again, and you whip out old games and you think, oh, but how does this work? And you can't quite understand the tricky bits of code. Comments will help you. So there's an example. They come up really small, well, as far as my eyes goes, really, really small. But so for example, in there I've just written some basic notes of how this thing works. So this is what it looks like in the code. So let's just press stop for a minute. Let's say I'm explaining this bit of code. Right click, add comment, and then move it somewhere else. Then you can say, I don't know, go to XY, resets car position, And how many spelling mistakes have I done? Just haven't quite written out go to properly. Anyway, yeah, so you can see how the comments work. So that's the basics of this lesson. Now, I'd like you to build this game and add lots of things. So, for example, driving instructions and welcome screen. So it tells you what the keys are. And when you click on the welcome screen, in my games, it resets all the variables like the speed, the number of laps, all that kind of good stuff. A lap counter. So I put a start and a finish line on there, and whenever the car touches that, it increases the number of laps. Actually, when you do that, you're going to need to add a sort of a delay to give them a chance to get off the start finishing line, because all the time the car is on that lap counter, the number of laps just rockets up. So as you drive over it, you've done 1,000 laps just in one go. So I put like a 10-second delay on there before it could do it again. A timer which starts driving instructions. When the driving instructions are clicked, meaning that you can have like a maximum time for the game. I had 3 minutes. It's just exhausting playing 10 seconds let alone 3 minutes. Don't know how you young'uns do it. Yeah, so you can figure out a timer. And then for the end screens, you could have, when they've completed 10 laps, you could show a winner screen, or when the timer runs out and they haven't done 10 laps, show a loser screen. And then perhaps have one of those select car business at the beginning. So on the welcome screen you could have, like, first of all select your car and then begin. So adding all those extra bits in, just out of interest, this is what mine looked like. So if I go to my stuff, and I called it the advanced version. Ooh. Let's just play it. Not going to let you see inside, that would be cheating. But when we press go, so I've got my fancy introduction, there are my instructions, and then click to start, and then I can do a bit of driving just as badly as you've seen me do before, blah blah blah, and around we go, a whole 1 lap. Right, to speed things up, in the code you can double click on this a few times and you can get this slider up, so you could increase it to 10 laps and just test those end screens, or you can sit there and play it for however long. That's a bit of a waste of time, but come on, you're sounding a bit whingy now. Right, well, this video's crossed the finishing line. Boom boom, tsh, get it? Nah, don't blame you. Right, go outside, go for a walk, get some sunshine, digest this video, come back, make the game, do the extensions, do all of the things, and I'll see you in the next video.